All right. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. We're almost there. We're almost there. It's the middle of the week. Got some good news today. In a good mood. And I think we're going to have a great show this evening. What we're going to show this evening, we do want to be respectful, but we also want to bring some things to awareness. So we have a couple of videos that we're going to show, but I want to welcome everyone in. Before we get to the viewers, the other co-hosts, I want to say hello to the men that are on the panel at the men's forum tonight on the Real Precious Network. How are you guys doing this evening?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Happy Wednesday. Hump day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's going to be Friday Eve tomorrow. It's not Thursday. It's Friday Eve.
That's right.
Thursday.
For sure.
Guys, if you're watching, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, definitely hit the bell notification because you want to know when we're going live. On Tuesday, we have Adoptee Foster, and on Wednesday, we have the men's forum where we bring some things to light, get real conversation. Look out for warnings. We don't want to point the finger, but we do want to point out the obvious. We do want to tell the truth. We do want to get the men's perspective, and the women are welcome too. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Okay, because we need each other to be able to know how to be better. I had a men's panel before, so I brought it back. I enjoy kicking it with the guys and listening to y'all when y'all sound foolish.
Oh,
y'all some good game as well, okay? Because there's a balance, all right? We're not all perfect, all right? So definitely hit that like button. I'm gonna get into these comments. Worldwide Collaborations is showing some love. Thank you so much for being here. He said one of these porters is something. I'll figure it out in the live. Yes, when we set up these lives in StreamYard, we're given the option to go live in a vertical view as well as a horizontal view, and I learned that because of the guys. See, that's why y'all are needed, because y'all be teaching me stuff, okay? Arcane told me, hey, when you set it up, do it like this. All right, you might get a couple more views than you usually do. So I listened. Here we are. So no matter which view you're in, you're going to be able to see us. All right, whether you're on your phone, computer, whatever it is. 3 a.m. is in the chat showing some love. Darnell, good evening. Thank you so much for being here. Hit that like button. Minaleek, I see you in the chat. Greetings, one and all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I'm going to drop the link. I know people, they kind of trickle in from shows that they're already doing because people got to like y'all. I appreciate y'all because you don't have to be here, but you choose to. So I appreciate you. Okay. So I'm going to drop the link. But I want to get into a couple of videos. We have 3 videos tonight. And they all pretty much center around the same thing because of this tragedy of Ashlee Jenae Robinson is her name. Something that happened in Tanzania. She was on a birthday trip with her boyfriend who proposed to her on this trip. And then about 48 hours later, she was found hanging in her hotel room where we were told, it was reported that they got into an argument and they were separated and they went into separate rooms, separate suites, whatever the case may be. And so now her parents are trying to get answers like any parents would. Friends, family, everybody's trying to figure out what happened to her. Does it make sense? It doesn't sound right. It just doesn't feel right. And so, the story is circulating, and rest in peace to her. Her family, I can't imagine, seeing your daughter even through FaceTime while she is there, and then getting a, call 11 hours later that your daughter is no longer alive. So yes, the tragedy is under investigation. We're gonna hit it from a different angle. I am gonna show the video of the news clip of them explaining it. This reporter, I've been following her and her updates. She, to me, seems to have the most accurate information. As far as you hear a lot of, well, she's from Miami, or she's from Delaware, or she, and this reporter, I believe she is, on target with a lot of her reporting. She also is in contact with the family as well. But the first video I want to get into relates to this story, however, in the reverse. And I want to get you guys' opinion about it. And, with this story, us as Black people, African Americans, we know the history. And so what happened to her, in my opinion, is a visual way of someone repeating history. And so that's kind of where we're going to go with it, and on my part. But I do want to play this video and get you guys' opinion, because these things happen every day, and we're amongst people who feel this way. And we need to wake up to the reality that this is the life that we are living in, and not be so naive and warn women and young women of these realities.
My best friend's wedding this week.
Come on, StreamYard. Come on. Just for one night. One night. I'm just asking for one night. Act right.
Just need advice about whether I should skip my best friend's wedding this weekend.
Oh, this is like right now we're dealing with this. Oh dear.
All right, what's going on? Why is this even a thought that you should skip your best friend's wedding?
She called me and she said, I need to ask you something really uncomfortable.
Okay.
And she asked if I could not bring my fiance to the wedding because he's Black.
What?
Because her grandmother's coming, and apparently her grandmother's old school and doesn't believe in interracial marriage.
My Black ears are perked up.
But I'm sorry, was she even a tiny bit mortified to ask you this?
I mean, she said, look, I don't feel that way. She loves my fiance, and she is stuck because her parents are pressuring her because they don't want to upset grandma. And then she said, if I do bring him, if we could not show PDA, no hand holding, no kissing. It's just weird. So she did keep saying, I know this is horrible to ask you. I'm so sorry. I'm between a rock and a hard place. But I mean, I do feel she feels bad. Mm-hmm. I believe that she feels bad. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, you're asking me to hide the person I'm going to marry.
So
this has actually happened to me.
Oh my God. Let's get into it.
I was dating a girl. She's very dark skinned.
Okay.
And her family felt like they didn't think I was Black. They thought I was lying. So needless to say, I didn't keep dating her because I didn't want to go through that. Like, if you starting off like that, I don't want none of that. That's drama. Just drama waiting to happen. But in her case, like, what do you mean you can't bring your husband? You can't show no affection. Like, what do you want her to act like they don't even know each other?
That's exactly what grandma wants. That's exactly what she wants. She wants you to, if you're going to bring him, act like you don't know him, because we don't know them. That's what she's saying, and I'm pretty sure she said it very, very clear as day to her granddaughter,
Exactly.
had to deliver the news and had to deliver the news to her friend, her best friend. You know, this is real. It's real and it's sad, but the truth is, it's not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth, because we still have generations that think that way living amongst us in our workplaces, when we at the store, at the doctors, some
Mm-hmm.
caregivers, and then above all else, family members who are probably people who own, places that we go, places that we shop at. I think it's just so sad. It's just so sad.
Yeah. Um yeah, this it's tough because I mean, like my grandmother was born in 1950, so you know, um like we know what it was like for her growing up, so it's like it's kind of tough because a lot of those, the kids around that age were raised that way.
And
um
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
It takes away from, because I'm not saying that every white person is like this. So it
Mhm.
takes away from the people who actually have genuine love for someone that is not their color. You know what I mean? That really just wants to love them for them, but yet you're tied to a generation who doesn't even see this person as a whole human being. How do
Right.
how, how do you live in your truth? Well, I know how I would live in my truth. Bye, Granny. I, I, I see you later. Because at the end of the day, you love who you love, but it's the system that has enslaved us, and those who did it still, and family members of those who did it still live amongst us.
Yeah. It's tough because like growing up, of course, like I grew up with a bunch of black people, of course, but um a few of my homies that went to our school, they were mixed, they were white and Mexican, right?
Hmm.
Because so by the time I graduated, they were like two of them were like the only two that I played football and baseball with. So we always were cool from freshman year to senior year. So by senior year, we were the only three left that played the whole time, both
Okay.
sports. So yeah, like my grandma, when they would come to my house, they would come to pick me up. My grandma would be like, "You the only black boy with these two white boys," because she didn't see that she didn't know that they was mixed, but
Hmm.
she didn't care. Like because she's like, I was born in the 50s, and like it's still remnants of that in Missouri. So when you're going these places, that's what people are seeing. You know what I'm saying? So she always would tell me, and she would tell them, like, if they came to pick me up, hey, y'all better, you feel me? Y'all better look out for my grandbaby because if something happened to him, I'm on that ass. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I think it's tough because damn, like but I don't know, like it is crazy because you would be choosing between your family and your friend. Like I think it probably would be different if she was choosing from her like her fiance if he was mixed race or he was black, and her grandma was like, I'm not gonna come.
Hmm.
It might suck, but I feel like it'd be a lot easier to ask your friend, hey, you know what, man, my grandma kind of, so I know, like, I wish you could be here, but you know,
I wish.
we'll have another reception. We'll have another reception, whatever, without grandma or whatever the case may be, but or we'll celebrate it, when we get back or whatever. But yeah, but if it was her fiance or her boyfriend and she was about to do that, I'm sure that would have been a harder ask, a harder choice. Like she would have had to put Granny on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm. And I got a story actually. It's actually when I went to go. see my when I met my adopted parents, my biological parents, Precious, and they live in Nashville, Tennessee,
Mm.
and I was going through Kentucky, and I stopped at a gas station to fill up. This was the only time I had ever felt like I was in danger. Like when I opened the door, everybody in the gas station turned around.
Jeez.
And I'm not, obviously you could see I'm not,
You're very fair skinned.
yes, to put it lightly. um,
Very, very arid banana.
and so, I was like, well, can I get 25 on 5? And I just walk right out. But that's the only time I ever felt that way. I've been around, white folks most of my life, like, because where I live is pretty diverse. So it wasn't like I had never, but like it was a different kind of feeling. I'll say that.
So did they look like they had rifles in their back? Like what was it a lot
Uh,
of them? What was the feeling? Because I think the fear that a man gets and the fear that a woman gets are very different. And so when a man says that he, you know,
I don't know if they was gonna follow me, but they had that look.
wow, okay, and it was just you.
Yeah, I was by myself.
Mm. Have you, sir, ever experienced any type of feeling of fear or, maybe racially profiled?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I remember one time me and my boys we was going to we was going to Super Sunday church. And so like you know how they separate like the bus, the van come get you. We would all like everybody in the hood pile up in the van, go to Super Sunday church, and this was the craziest ish that ever happened. So we was all downstairs, we all jumping around, we having a good time, and this went on for a few months.
Mhm.
We don't know what's going on in the big church upstairs. We have no idea because they kept us completely separate. So it was like 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Super Sunday church. You come, you getting all the zuzus and wham whams and snacks. You having a good time. A little bit of Jesus Christ mixed in there. A little bit of God, a little Holy Ghost mixed in there. But a whole bunch of playing and laughter and a whole bunch of hood kids. So I remember, and it was like mainly, because we just wanted candy. So we was like, yo, let's go to
We're
church.
going, right.
Yeah, we going to church. We're gonna go there, we're gonna clap our hands, we're gonna get some candy. And so I remember it was my 12th birthday, and on and it fell on a Sunday.
Mhm.
And they were like, yeah, once you turn 12, then you go to the big church. So everybody's like, hey, we in there party, we having a good time. They said, hey, oh yeah, it's Noodle's birthday, bro. Hey. So now the leaders, they like, okay, happy birthday, happy birthday. So everybody starts singing happy birthday, and then they said, how old are you? And so I was like, man, I'm 12. Yeah, like I'm geeked. They like, nah. So we're gonna go upstairs. We're gonna take you upstairs, and that's where you're gonna be. I walked upstairs, and listen, where this church was located in the city, you just would have never thought. I walked in, I literally was the only black person there. The only one. Like it was the weirdest, craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. Because all downstairs was all Mexican kids, black kids, white kids mixed in, all from the ghetto, like literally. And the van would
So
just come around. So it was like children of the corn. Like I walked up in that joint, and Literally didn't see one black person, one Mexican person, like nothing. And so they sat me, like they were gonna send me, they were gonna sit me in the front. I was like, nah, I'm okay. I'll just sit back here. So I ended up sitting in the back of the church, and I just remember just looking around the whole time, like, damn, this is my ride out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even thinking about church. I wasn't thinking about the snacks in the basement, like none of that. I literally was like, damn, this is my ride out of here. Cause yeah, I mean, it wasn't like super close to the crib, so I couldn't just get up and leave. But I was like, nah, bruh, what kind of church is this?
Bust y'all to the super
Sunday church. Never seen. I'm telling you. I mean, like downstairs, you probably seen about 5-6 white kids. So the rest of us was black. We literally in Mexican. We was really going there for the candy. If you looked at the bus on the way there, like if you looked at the van that they came to pick us up in, if you was just driving past and you stopped at a red light, you'd be like, oh, them badass kids going to church today. Literally what you would have thought, because it was just full of blacks and Mexicans.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the craziest experience in my life. Never ever went back again. I was like, oh hell no.
I think the only time I felt weird and it just felt odd, I lived in Levittown, PA, and I would go to like the Giant, and I just would like people would turn their heads, and I'm like, am I in a movie? Like, I mean, it wasn't like you can tell when someone is turning their head like, oh, she looks nice, or but then you could like, it's just the blank stares just looking at you, and I'm just like, I gotta get up out of here. Like, I gotta get up out of here. It was everywhere that I went. It was the same type of looks, and it just made me feel unwelcome. Like, it just made me feel like, why are you here? So, being as though that we've all felt like that unwelcome, I don't know, sir. I being an adopted person, to me, my thoughts take me to like, why they have all these kids? All these white people had all these kids in the basement. Like that's where my mind is taking me. Like, what's going on at the big church?
What's going on at the big church up here? Like that has always like puzzled me. Like whenever I replay that in my mind, I just be thinking like, damn, like that was crazy as hell. Cause you think about all the things that has happened with like cults. You know what I'm saying? Not to bring that, but like, yeah, like if our parents was there, then that's probably what you probably would have felt like it was, because it probably would have been about, I don't know, probably about 15 black parents, maybe, or 15 like
but none of them
people
were
of color all together, basically. You know what I'm saying?
There, just the kids.
Yeah, but then you add but if the family was there, then it would have looked the dynamic would have looked a little bit different, but it still would have looked like, damn, like they go to a white church. Like that's how it would have looked. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to show that video just because, like I said, these microisms or macroisms, are present every day, all day. And it's not said to us. It's not, we feel it, in some cases. In some cases it is said to us. I've been at a bowling alley one time. I think it was me, my brother, and some other friends, and truck just going down the highway. You in words loud as ever. Like, it is not something that is hidden. And so when you see stories like Ashlee, Jenae's, it makes you want to know a lot more, especially because they were the only two people there. However, there should be camera footage. There should be something that can speak for her in this instance, because do you guys know anything about Joe McCann, the man she was dating? Do you guys know any background on him?
Yeah, so I didn't even know who this girl was, to be honest. Like I had never heard of her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started researching her. So like she's like an influencer, bottle girl, whatever titles that she wanted to have. But he was a basically like a hedge fund manager doing crypto,
Yep.
and he lost $100 million last year. But he still had to keep up the persona like he still had it. And I think by getting getting a girl who was in that lifestyle already, he was basically, because he didn't want to lose whatever leverage he had, with his clients, right? Like so, and he probably was using some of her money, maybe to get whatever he could get, in the business side too. And she is sad because like she I don't think she spent enough time with somebody to go out of the country with them, like a year. Like I wouldn't be.
We're gonna have to already be married. You ain't
Yeah.
gonna me over there. I'm sorry. Anyone watching, don't think you're gonna pop the question. Tanzania.
And I found out he was already married.
Yeah, he was married before. Mm-hmm. He has kids too.
Yeah, he's not divorced.
Oh wait, he's not divorced?
No,
I didn't know that part.
it was a video I seen earlier. I was watching it on my lunch break, and it was a guy breaking it down. And maybe it might be the same video you're going to play. I don't know, but yeah, he basically, I think his wife or ex-wife or whatever, she's like, I think they say she was Afro Latina or some, I don't know, like what her ethnicity is or whatever, but
she's definitely, you can tell she does she's mixed with black.
Yeah, you could tell. But yeah, he was basically breaking it down, talking about how, he was under a lot of pressure. Obviously, yeah, you lost $100 million. Like who wouldn't be, who wouldn't be under pressure, So that's basically what I had seen so far. And I'm sure there's been other things that came out, since that time.
Yeah, so now that you said that, I am going to play this video about this man's angle and pretty much speaking to what you just spoke to about him being in financial trouble and this
and her death. And this is not the topic you think.
Certain type of situation that I wouldn't have even thought of. They say we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but people in high places, child. And when you said this, I was like,
No, I'm not going to speak on this woman and her death, and this is not the topic you think I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about an angle that I haven't seen anyone discuss so far. But before that, let's take a look at something. She posted this photo on social media, and let's go ahead, take a good look at this photo. All right, let's go ahead and look at the comments. Don't know you, but I love this for you. God, I'll trans soft this soft girl era. Please, I have no idea. May this kind of love find me. Look how he's looking at you. I love how he's looking at you. You notice who's all in the comments? He wants to eat you up. May love like this find us. Oh, because I thought someone whose man wouldn't even get them a 444 said something. I pray get a man like this. He loves you. You notice again who's having these conversations? Look how he's looking at you. May this kind of intentional man locate me. I love this lifestyle for you. May it turn into wedding bliss. She goes, manifesting this. Oh, you manifest. May this kind of love locate me. May this kind of love find me and never let me go. May this kind of love is finding all of us, ladies. I see my future. Okay, K-Dog. Yeah, go look at this man's post on Twitter. You'll find one thing. This man lost $10 million this year in the crypto market. He went famous. He blew up because in the early days of Solana, he put $200 in it when it was when it was like Nothing. And then Solana blew up and his $200 turned into millions, literally. And that's how he blew up. That's how he got his money. Now, crypto market has made him lose almost more than $10 million. He posted this himself. So here's the angle I want to talk about that no one else is. This man lost a lot of money, went to whoever he needed to go to recoup the money. And he was meant to join either a group, a cult, or whatever. He was meant to do something, and she was his sacrifice. So he took her to the one country that he knew he could do this and buy the police and come back home
Allegedly.
safely. That's just a theory. She was his sacrifice for something. This man is trying to join something. He lost $10 million. He needs to find a way to recoup it. And this man, that's my theory. Because now we know about the Epstein files, witchcraft, all the things they do. This man wanted to join something or someone to increase his financial status, and he needed to make an offering. He needed to make a sacrifice, and he chose the ebony girl, and he took her to Africa, and he murdered her. And now he's about to come back. He didn't even post about the death for 2 days. So now he's probably back in America, or he's going to come back to America, and his business is going to start booming.
So now that you guys have seen that, because again, rest in peace and respect to a woman who has passed away, whether we know that she said very cruel things about Black men. I believe if you are going to date outside your race, don't turn your back on your community. I don't like that aspect of it, but that was her and that's how she felt. We also know that she lived this lavish lifestyle with this man, and she had coins of her own. So it wasn't like I would assume, right? We're all just assuming here. Her being an influencer, her being in, she's was in a couple of videos with a couple of artists, model. She has done things in her life that she can speak for. And the one thing that she has done now, got involved with a man who is very powerful. This is he not only has money, but he is the example of how to put your money, in a place and grow it. And now he's the CEO of a investment, company and things of that nature. So he's a very powerful man, and a very powerful man who lost a lot of money. And I wouldn't think, to take it that far, like, well, maybe, he gonna have to sacrifice somebody. No. And in my head, it's like, okay, make the money back. Like, work or do something. But when I heard that, I was like, wow. Because how can you prove that she unalived herself in a weekend that was her birthday, and that was a time when she got engaged, and you say that there was an argument in which there should be some type of camera footage of being transported to another room, being taken out of the room that you're in. There has to be something in Tanzania that they have that would explain all of this. But after seeing that video, is that a tangible, and no one has been convicted, right? So is that a tangible motive, in her now being gone?
No. Like, if you look at the pictures, he looks like he's has something up his sleeve. Like when you look at him and the way he looks at her, like, yeah, and then
And it's
yeah,
crazy because women were like, look at the way he looks at you. Like, girl, you wouldn't know it. Go ahead, Leon.
somebody had posted about 24 weeks ago on her timeline and said he's going to unalive you.
And the thing about social media, it's like you don't know who's who. Like,
Right.
You don't know who's who. This could be his little sister. This could be somebody that he know. He obviously liked the chocolate, the cocoa. He liked the brown. So you just never know who is. That's why you really got to be in tune. You got to keep all this. You got to be in tune. Because I feel like I could feel, foolery. Like the person that get up on the live that last week. It's like, I'm not feeling good vibes coming from you. You gotta be able to feel the vibes. So yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the person that kept asking for the link?
Yeah, and then I dropped it, and they were in the back like this. Sir, you need to show your full face.
No, but like if you go back and you look at some of her pictures and you look at the way that he was looking at her, like even in that one picture on the plane where he's holding the wine glass and he's looking at her like you just don't know what's about to happen. Like
it's like a movie, right? In movies, like when we know what's about to happen, but they don't know what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Arpain?
Arpain,
hey, what's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, cool. Hey, listen, I'm not home, so I'm gonna be off camera today.
You sound like you need some tea, lemon.
Right.
Yes, exactly. I do.
Sound sick, brother.
What can I say? This is my sexy voice.
Oh hell no! It's Mr. Nasty time.
Oh man! Listen,
Go ahead.
I saw the last video. I saw both the videos, but this one with the chick out there in Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
The guy came on to say it was some kind of karma or voodoo. I think the guy has watched too many movies. But that's what I think about the brother talking about it. But it's a tragic situation.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, listen, I think the sisters who divest and they do it to show up black men, but that's just a side issue. The issue really is there's more than a few instances of these guys offering these sisters. I mean, it's not like this is rare. I mean, how many of these stories have we seen? Black women divesting, and all of a sudden they go out some exotic place with these guys and never come back home.
Especially influencers too. It's
Yeah.
tick and influencers, and it's almost like, child, you need some more influencing from your parents or something. Like, why are you out here like this? Like, why?
Yeah,
Why?
it's a trip.
And now your parents, need a GoFundMe to either come out there to investigate, to help bury you. This is why this needs to be a warning, because everything that you see is not glitter and gold. It just is not what you think it is. And to believe that in the social world, we need more people speaking out saying, hey, get your face out of your phone. Get your face out of your, and don't think that this easy money is the best money out here.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to this whole story, but I don't know how deep you're going to get into it. I mean, her mother is a divester, right? She divorced her biological father, remarried a white man, and they had those conversations about how being with a white man is like at the top of the food chain. I mean, it's kind of, let's be honest, a lot of women want white men. So that's one of those kind of things. But her thing is, she wants it, and she was fighting black men by doing it. And the whole internet is in uproar because somehow, one way or the other, women are blaming her death on black men, saying we're celebrating. And I'm just saying, most guys say, listen, this chick she hated us. Why would I really care too much? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what most of it is. But anyway.
Let's back up a little bit. Just a little bit. Why would I care too much? I mean, I'm not saying that you should care, but there should be some level of sympathy that this woman,
Yeah, I mean, when I say care too much, I mean, we feel so we think the guy's guilty. I think most men think the guy's guilty,
Mm.
but we're not gonna, you're asking us after years of telling black men they ain't shit. We're supposed we don't want you to die, but it's just like when somebody you know or you were enemies, you're not necessarily going to their funeral.
And
You might be sorry that they died, but you're not going to the funeral.
Right.
that's
And
the sad part about turning your back on your community. It's okay to feel the way you feel about your love interest, but don't take the whole community of black men and trash.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Brickface girl, whatever her name was. I even did a video on that. Like, you talking about all these black men, and then, now you're making up a story. Nobody believes you, and you want sympathy. So that again, that was my only issue with how she presented herself online, because it's here and she's gone.
see what
Right.
our pain is saying is another thing from what he is saying is this is what we're told all the time, right? It's like, okay, when a black man dates a white woman, because we can have that conversation a little bit, but we're looked at as like, oh, this is what y'all do, this is what y'all do, and black men generally don't point it out when it's on the other end. We don't really sit around and be like, all right, man, so hey, look at all these white men taking our black women. We don't you don't really hear men saying that, in mass like that. But
Right.
you'll hear you walk past with a white girl or a mixed girl and she look white, and you get you see the stares, you see the looks, and then when it's presented, you seen I'm just like, and this is just about the comments. You seen the comments. God, may this love find me. And that's the thing about these internet couples, man. Like, they're it is funny because they show jokes about it all the time. Like, this is those before we get on camera, or this is blood couples before they get on camera. This is these internet couples before this and that. But then when a situation like this happens, it's like, damn, like y'all have to understand that people
They was
go through
lying.
things, man. Yeah, right. They're not gonna show you. They're not gonna get online and show you the arguments. They're not gonna get online and show you the tough times, the financial hardships. That's not what they're gonna do. 'Cause they want the likes, the clicks. They want you to think they're lovable. They're living this lavish lifestyle or whatever the case it could be, and that's the tough part about it. But yeah, and just the last thing is, like, this is one reason why, like you said, Precious, when black men are told if they're dating a white woman, don't bash black, don't bash black women in the process, right? But then it's like, if you want to go viral, all you have to do is bash a black man. If you want to go, if you look at TikTok, if you look at or men in general, but especially a black man. But if you go on TikTok and you look at all these girls who got one follower, but then she made one video and it was, I hate men, this and this and this and this, and now she got 3 million likes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the easiest way, and it's this whole situation is sad. It's a really tough situation.
I saw a video of a woman who was literally getting on TikTok to say what she didn't like about black men, and then her child came in to tell her that she got in a fight with the neighbor or something like that. And it's like, girl, this is why you don't need to be on TikTok. Your daughter's outside throwing hands with the neighbor, and now her mom is at the door, right? Like, it's just, don't take your grievances out in a public platform like Instagram or YouTube, because it will always follow you, and no one's going to think that you're lying or you're doing this for an image, or you're just an influencer. People are going to think this is what you really think.
But people show up how they really think. I'm giving demerits out to everybody involved, including the parents.
Right.
And I don't know if y'all got daughters, right? I'm sure I know our pain has daughters. I know our pain would have been checking my ass if I came up there with my little gray beard and shit, talking about I want to date your daughter. Hell yeah, let's call it for what it is. And it goes to show how sisters are caught up in the money. He supposedly made some money off of whatever it was, Bitcoin or whatever. Most of them motherfuckers ain't making that much money. It's all us game. He came up in there with his mama and them. And the daddy, why you didn't check this dude? I don't understand that. My daddy was checking everybody. Hey, what's up with you? Even if she gonna still be with you, he still would have had a. My daddy wasn't he didn't give a fuck about feelings. So, but he would have seen like, oh nigga, you got my baby. Come here. He'd have took him off and talked to him, and and my daddy he was a business street. He was that type of dude. But it just goes to show how broken we are and how we chase the money. Because I see a lot of people who, when they go outside the race, they criticize us on either way. The men do it and the women do it. When Kevin Samuels passed away, what did the women do? They was damn near peeing on the man's grave. So, but it goes both ways, right? Is all the point I'm trying to make. It goes both ways, and it's unfortunate, right? Because this is how, listen, they're better at deleting us than we are. We want to do it out in the open, everybody sees. They're going to isolate you. Now, I don't know how much y'all read about it, but y'all may get into it. But if y'all go put y'all hands around me, I'm going to have fingerprints. I'm going to have fingerprints on my neck. Black folk, we too weak when it comes to pain. And the fact that with the way it played out, none of his pictures, always his eyes look shady. He had already been caught up in some fraudulent stuff, and it's more to it. He had the money, right, to get there, right? Isolation. This is what it's a whole lot that's the parents going to have to go over there themselves. And this is why I blame the parents, because
that might not make any difference either, though.
But they can maybe, he can pass for one of them if he just grow his mustache and beard back. But they may have to do some research and digging themselves over a period of time, because that government and what this guy was able to do, they're not going to get a lot of answers. And she was just in the rise of her sort of life. And believe me, a man like that, your ass gonna be a trad wife. And I say it all the time, right, President? A white man, you got to be pretty. You got to have that body. You got to have that bag. Now, if you're fat and ugly, you got to have that bag. And you're going to pay like you weigh to him. And he going to put you in no fat one. Unless you got the bag, because what's the girl, Big Precious, got her big white boy too, and she got that
she's
bag.
Paying for him, though.
But that's what I'm saying. You got to have the bag. So and I said about this. This highlights how we are still in not communication with our families,
right?
And people don't want to be hands off. You got a motherfucker with gray beard, and you got this young daughter, a son. Come on, man. What do you do? Listen, even though you're adults, you got to have those conversations.
Right. She's 31. She was turning 31.
Yeah, she's 31. She was 31 on her birthday.
Yeah, so
and she paid for it. Some people think she paid for that whole extravagance because he's broke. He lost a lot of his money.
Man. He broke. Hold on. Yeah, they want a black man to have 100, 200, 400,000, and they going out with these broke ass white boys. Come on.
Yeah, she was doing the flex. I mean, a lot of people, all that crypto stuff, he lost all of that money. It wasn't 10 million that the guy said; it was $100 million that guy lost.
Yeah. Well, then that goes. He wasn't broke at first. He wasn't. No, he must have not been broke when he met her.
But that's the thing. He could use that brokenness and still flex.
That's what I was saying
$10 million.
I think he flexed her. I think she didn't know.
He met her he met her at the strip club. What are we talking about? Big ballers ain't going no strip club. You coming to my house to the stripper. We not going out with all you busters outside.
She was a stripper? I didn't know she was a stripper.
Yeah, yes. That's what I'm saying, man. He ain't had none of that when she met him. To me, because listen, big ballers don't go to the strip club. You come to the hideout. You coming to the hideout, honey. You coming to the honeycomb hideout.
You hear Yeah, you hear the athletes, they all say they still go to the strip club to go
They
have
go to
some
the strip
wings.
club
But
all the
that's
time.
athletes. Those low thinking ass niggas. I'm talking about a
Well,
baller. I'm
the
talking about a real businessman, a real man that's making
they're
moves. You ain't
sleaze
doing
bag.
all
A
that.
lot of these guys are sleaze
Where my
bags, man. What are you talking
man?
about?
Not the money makers. They over in the side. They got some
He
pretty
was
looking
well.
friends.
First of all, he was in the
Caprita,
crypto
bring your
market,
two
and
friends over here. You and your two friends gonna get all this little change. I'm not
no,
going to go be
I'm
around
not
our
arguing
pain
with you. I'm not arguing with you, Coach.
sweating in
You
the
you
club.
you
Our
half
pain
right.
sick all President, our pain sick all in the club. I'm sitting next to him trying to pull up 200. No, I'm just messing around. My bad.
No, man, that's funny though, man. Because listen, I mean, he was flexing a lot. She might have thought he had more money than he did, and she was flexing so hard to show the black men that they ain't worth nothing. She would really put this guy on the pedestal. I got me Mr. Cartwright, and I'm gonna go ahead and play with that. So
These young folks don't know who Mr. Cartwright is.
yeah, I tell you, man, yeah, you right, Mr. Cartwright. Hey, listen, I gotta let him know I'm from the old school, Mr. Cartwright. What's that?
Get back. But yeah,
Anyway, so it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation. Oh, here's another thing. Tanzania, the government, they were quick to say it was, I believe some of these guys were quick to say it's a suicide because they're worried about tourism.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They're worried about, hey man, we can't have people think if you come here from America, you could get, so they went online. And this is not the first time they call what's the other chick who disappeared or they call suicide?
What's that,
Uh,
Tiffany?
right, the chick who went with the five other girls and
Yeah, y'all remember that about 2 years
yeah,
ago.
man.
That
Yeah,
was in Mexico, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
think
in
so.
Mexico.
Totally forget her name.
They do not want to hear those bad stories come from
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They got
was
arrested.
thinking like this was deja vu again because it's like all over again where you're hearing the same scenario type story where people going, to these places and like I ain't going nowhere with nobody that they obviously was jealous of that girl because she was making a whole lot of money, doing hair or whatever she was doing. The girl in Mexico,
Yeah,
and they just went there to set her up and I don't like, and then when you hear about these cases, they come in a flash and then they disappear out of thin air. Like you ain't heard none since, and so, um, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Like a person lost their life. Doesn't
Her
matter like what she,
last name was Robinson too. Her Shaquilla Robinson.
yeah. So like, it doesn't matter to me. Like if she was bashing people, but she lost her life. Like that's not cool. Whatever she whatever her feelings were towards us people of color, that was on her. Like it's has nothing to do with me. Like that's her feelings. But like when somebody loses their life for no reason, like that's not cool.
Yeah, I think, and just going back to the history of it all, and, you know, I mean, she was found hanging. And when I hear that, I think of history, like, how our people were hung and it was done to be a spectacle, right? And because this young woman was going into the next phase of her life, it's making a statement, and her turning her back on her community only lends to the statement that he could be making if allegedly he did this and hung her. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you turn your back on your community, so now they're not going to have your back when something like this happens. And I can, who said it? Coach Ferg. They're better at uh, uh, unaliving us than we are them. My thing is, it's so broke, and you know, we hear that he's paid off these, cops, officials over there. How is that possible? Because I feel like when people say they somebody broke is like, how you know what their broke is?
But we also understand that people can hide money outside the United States, right? See,
Right,
people,
but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
what,
people
like,
can do that.
we can't really say that the guy's broke. He lost money. We know that he lost money, but we can't say that he's broke unless you guys have, supporting details.
No, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I
You
wasn't
know,
saying
broke
that. I was
is
just saying that
relative.
he.
Broke is relative.
Yeah, I was just saying that he had lost all that money last year. I didn't say he was broke. Like you could
I
lose,
did. I
you
mentioned.
could lose a lot of money and still have money. Like
Right. So
his broke might be, oh, I had,
I got
600
$5 million.
million. Yeah, like I had 600 million.
Yeah.
Now I got, 400 million. That might be his broke.
I'm sure
You
that's
know,
you're absolutely right.
so
But I
it
don't think
just,
that was the case with this guy. He was a fraud too. He was trying to start another company,
Yeah, it was
and
fraud.
nobody would invest with him.
mhm.
There's some other stuff going on. I mean, even the story coming out of finding her. Some people at first it was that she was found non-responsive. Then you heard
Yeah,
that she
that's what
was
he
hanged,
said.
and
And
then nobody said. Even the news didn't say that they had this big argument that they had to split them up
yeah,
Mhm.
right before she was found dead.
so that's why it don't add up. I
well,
propose to you.
I'm,
We
I'm
on we. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Coach Farr. I'll let you finish your point, and then I'm gonna play the video of the news clip about the whole situation.
No, I'm just saying. I take you over there purposely to propose to you. We all still trying to get to Africa on that damn trip. We here now. She there. A trip of a lifetime. Walking with the lions, and I propose. We supposed to be damn near butt naked in the jungle from that point on. There should never be a moment where we arguing after that. But this all of a sudden happened soon after. I think he snapped like they do. Like they do when the white boys
It
make
was
their
right
wives
after the
disappear in the
engagement.
rain.
It
That's
was
what I'm
right after the
saying.
proposal.
But
Right.
but that's what I'm saying. We on butt naked Adam and Eve time in the jungle after I engaged. So but to have that happen, and then they tried to say she found unresponsive, then all of a sudden she hung herself. Y'all know how hard it is to hang your damn self. Y'all try it tonight.
Yeah.
Try it tonight and
All
tell me how it worked out
Hey,
next week.
nobody, don't try this shit at home, please.
But don't try it, huh? But then they said something about a cloth material. Now, with cloth or any fabric, you can make a tourniquet. And if you know how to do it right, you can use this pen, and I can make a tourniquet and get you up out of here. So, and then it's pressure because you can't pull it from the front. You just have a whole sore muscle, but you got to go pull it toward the back, and you ain't even got enough strength to hold your arms up that long to pass out. So we know it's some foul play. Could have been one of those. Oh, I see this beautiful black girl because she was fine over here. Could have been one of them Tanzanians, or they work in teams. White boys don't do shit alone out just randomly. They take the long stalking of your ass, and they'll separate her from the family. They ain't really a close family. Mama's over here, daddy over here. So,
and that's the reason probably why no one prepared for her to die, right? Because the family unit are off doing their own separate things, and even if you are off doing your own separate things, this is collectively your daughter. And even the mere fact of her dating this man, and like I mean, I'm going to Africa next year, y'all. And I was asked a question today, and I'm not going with no man. I'm going with the mentor group. Okay, we're taking the kids.
Hey, you have to explain it to us, Preston.
Right? You gotta explain. I know. He's 21.
I was asked today about insurance. Like, yes, I want insurance. I'm going to be in Africa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and not only am I going to be over there, people are going to know my parents are going to know everything about me being over there. And so it just seems like her parents, yes, she did get FaceTime, but the FaceTime maybe was just to her mom, maybe not her dad. Again, they're remarried. So they're not in the same house enjoying this time that her daughter is in in Africa. You know, she's probably FaceTiming mom, and you know how moms are with their daughters when they get to a certain age. Oh, that's cute, and you know, oh, you got this or you got that. You know, I'm sure dad probably has reservations, but he off living his own life. And it seems like they're not even a unit, because I saw one, I think it was one interview where they had their spouses there, and I'm like, I know this her tribe and all. I know it take a village, but can we get them out the way? You know, can we just have mom and dad in the picture, like in the interview? I you know, and again, we don't know all the details and we don't know exactly what happened, but I do hope that there is some type of surveillance that comes out so that at least her parents can have some answers to what happened to their child while she was in Africa. I really do. Because no matter how the girl felt, no matter how, you know, what her opinions were, this was someone's child. I'm going to play the reporters reporting about this situation. This one reporter, I am following the updates on this because she just seems to be the most on with her reporting and her facts that she has towards the story.
Cheyenne Corinne is live in the South.
Come on. There we go.
The latest. Cheyenne.
Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashlee Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter, Ashlee, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Jenae on
I mean, feeding the giraffes, like that has to be extravagant. Okay, feeding the giraffes.
Because most sisters don't even like bugs. They don't. They don't like no bugs, nowhere.
But just look at the scenery, right? She's feeding the giraffes. There's a roses full of, you know, that spells happy birthday, Ashlee. You know, it's just a production. This is a, you know, a production of her, just a part of her being an influencer. But again, like I said, these things will live on and she's not. So, you know, is it really worth putting your life out there like this? You know, because now, you know, even we're talking about it, but her parents has the entire world in on what's going on in such a tragic time in their life. You know, who knows if this is their only daughter? It's tragic.
Instagram was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days.
Oh, you couldn't get me nowhere walking with the lions, and they better not ask me when I get over there because the answer is no. Okay, not walking with the lion, nowhere.
Those animals are domesticated.
I don't care if they domesticated or not.
Yeah, you do. Go on and walk. Go on and walk with the lion.
You gonna walk with it. For that rain, you gonna walk like most would. Oh,
no, I'm not.
Baby.
No, I'm not.
Baby. You're so precious.
You gonna be holding hands with Mufasa. Exactly what you gonna be doing.
You know what? He said, Simba, we don't go over there. Right? We don't go over there. Now I'm listening. Okay, we not.
Right. Precious, don't come back with no ashy foots when you get over there.
She gonna come back. She gonna come back with 5 pair. She gonna come back with 5 pair of freaking thong sandals.
Oh, nice.
Toes out. All the sandals gonna be peep toe.
Days before,
she was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called, saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the...
How would he know that? If they were separated, how would he know that she did something to herself?
Well, the hotel would notify him, right? If this, you know, they.
Yeah, but how would they know that? Like, if this woman is in the by herself.
He was there.
No, I think he went into the. He had one of the people let him in the room. He says something like that.
Yeah, he went to check on her or something, but
Yeah, went to check on.
He was there. That's how you know something was wrong with it. He put
And I think it was
like
a hotel staffer was there with him too. You know who let him in?
That's the cover man.
And a lot of these joints, some of these places are very modernized, so like they would have like cameras and all that. I just wonder if this was like one of those places, because you can easily find a resort over there or
like a cabin outside or somewhere.
That just don't have cameras on there like that.
Yeah, isolated.
But this was a high-end resort, though. It's a high-end resort. I mean, it was
it gotta be if you're feeding a giraffe. It's pretty high.
So that might have been part of their room. She had on the little deck, and the animals just walk up to it. So ain't too much out there. Yeah, I can see that. Let me put on this black little suit and come through at night.
Could you, if I'm reaching where the giraffe's reaching, and it's just me and you, don't eat like I just like it's just I just not registering. I'm sorry.
You know, you scared. Yeah, you ain't gonna be outside too long overnight, huh? But I didn't know that said "Happy Birthday" in roses on the ground. I recognize that.
Yeah, red roses, happy birthday, white, happy. It was in white, red. I don't know. I see the symbolism in a lot of things, but
dang. Come on, man.
I mean, this is another thing. There's another psychology to this. I mean, what kind of man lets his woman put him on display like that? I just think that there's something that the guy was playing along with, right? I mean, I wouldn't be my chick's puppet so she could show me off on social media, And I'm sure all of these poses and all that was her idea, not his. Was she the influencer?
Listen, man, I know you know this. I know everybody knows this, right? When you a big baller, as you claim, you ain't marrying the stripper. What are we talking about? You pay to play. You're not front streeting the stripper. You gonna tell your mama that the stripper? Yeah, she used to be a stripper. Not if I'm balling. Come on, this.
So you don't think this guy had any money then?
No, I think he was a regular ass dude that probably got a little inheritance and he was fronting. And then he went to the strip club. He met in a strip club, man. Oh, I like it because we know strippers be fine now. Let's give it to him. Shout out to the strippers who fine.
Of course.
So I'm gonna see her. And I like her. And now I'm marrying her. That's the thing, though. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not at odds with what you're saying. The only thing I would argue with you is that ballers don't go to the strip club. They go to exclusive strip clubs.
Well, I keep mischaracterizing.
They go to strip clubs.
They go to gentlemen's club most of the time.
Football players and basketball players, I can get this slow ass. But if you
let me tell you, crypto guys are just like those basketball players and entertainers, man. Yeah. The biggest guy who went to jail was a crypto guy.
Oh, okay.
He's asking for a problem.
Yeah, you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it, Coach. They like when crypto was just taking off, they put $50 in there. Next thing you know, you got $2 million because it went over $3. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now you done went from rags to riches for real. But not even just that, man. Man, people be listen. I seen some, and you should know because in the military, I seen some high-ranking officials in that mug in the strip club. Every person of 15 spending their money. I'm talking, and I seen some of them fall in love. I fell in love with a stripper as soon as we got up in that mug. Look, little Deja walked past and they was like, "Oh God!" I mean, boy, we went to Oklahoma. I tell you, they ain't never seen so many thick white girls in one spot, man. They said, "Oh my God!" Everybody started falling in love. I said, "Damn."
I seen it in the 90s, man. So I can understand that.
Yeah, man.
But these are soldiers.
she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room.
And my thing is, too, you know, in this day and age, I'm sure they'll probably check his phone records, you know, text messages. I would hope that they would do because I mean, he has to be in someone that they question, and I believe he is getting questioned at this point in the investigation. But with him not telling for so long, and you know, the parents, he's telling the parents a narrative. How or do I watch too much TV? Don't they usually, and you know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but it seems as though this process is so drawn out, like it's a very drawn out process, knowing that he was the only person that she was there with. You know what I mean? It's not an immediate, oh, we got to question you because by association you were with her. You know, that's not it's not an immediate thing in this case.
That's only because he's white. I'm telling you, he should be the first person of interest,
Right.
the very first. You know, so the fact that they let him, I think they took his passport just recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they questioned him and let him go, and at first, and now with all this worldwide outcry, they're even looking worse because it just sounds fishy. Listen, no, first of all, black women like that don't delete themselves. You know, not after no argument, right? And how could that be true when most of y'all angry black women? Oh, anyway. So how could just an argument kill yourself after argument? That's not true. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. This woman's on the top of the world. She's not going to do that, right? So this is really the worst novel in the world. Just no really motivation for her to ever do that.
Hey,
You
our
know,
pain, you
and
know. Oh, go ahead.
no, I'm done. Go ahead. I mean,
I know I was gonna say not this part, but the last part. The only pushback that I got to say is that our pain, man. You got to remember, you started dating in the 1920s. There
what
was
does that
no
have to do
social.
with anything?
No. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay. Give me the punchline.
I'm talking about.
What?
Look, I'm saying because it wasn't no social media back then. You said ain't no way I let my girl have me doing all this social media. But if you see those, these social media
Yeah, that's
checks
true.
that all
Oh,
these
yeah.
families are getting from all these different platforms, all these different couples. That's why it's another one of the easiest ways to go viral.
Yeah.
Being a couple online, whether you pranking, whether you just what is it, the
That's
we in
true.
this
That's
together
true.
family, so
That's
yeah.
true. No, you're right. I mean, but listen, it seems like he's a prop in this whole thing, right? I mean, I can see us doing this together, but I couldn't see me being a prop. But you're right. You're absolutely right. So I can see him going along with that. You know, especially if he's playing his own game.
Yeah, and you know, I, we're saying that he did it. However, with her being in the social media age and being out there and portraying, because I said earlier, you know, you can't believe everything that you see, and because people get income from being on social media, they can easily play characters. There are very
Right.
few people who are really real and authentically themselves, and there is no gimmick. And where I'm not trying to do this for the glitz and the glamour and the checks, right? But there are some people who do, and they can't turn that off. It's just who they are. If you're in the social media world, your mind is on, oh my God, I need to post. Oh my God, I need to get this out there. I need to, this got to be like this got to be positioned here. And that, and it has to be perfect. The scenery, the aesthetic, everything has to be perfect. Look how perfect that was. That girl was feeding a giraffe. Okay. You know how many travel channels going to be like, all right, can we tag your video? She's going to be like, no, you're going to have to pay me for this video. I was there, not you. You can't just take my video and so then it becomes bargaining and kind of selling yourself for a check, right? So it looks as though that this man could have been heavily involved in her death, but at the same time, social media is a killer. It really, so many influence. I was just saying this a couple weeks ago. Every time I get a news break article or every other time, it's like a social media influencer has passed away, has died, has unalived themselves, has they went out of town, and the person that they've been seeing for a year has now taken them off this planet. And it's like, what is up with this social media influencer trend of not really having this discernment of knowing what's real and what's not, and situations that can put you in danger, and versus just staying your behind at home, local, really getting to know someone, having your parents know who they are. It's something very common. So, we're all saying that, yeah, he definitely has something to do with it. But also, if you're in an argument and you're supposed to be shooting content and, y'all supposed to be having cameras and everything set up, and y'all done got in an argument, ending it all would say, now you can't make no more money off of me. Because I think 3 a.m. was saying, how he could be using some of her money. Like, you know what I mean? It and I'm not saying we can't say what happened because we don't know. But I'm just saying that we can rule out that this girl, and as beautiful as it looked, as happy as she looked, this her 31st birthday, she got lions walking in front of her, she's got proposed to. We don't know how happy this girl really is in her life. I do not believe, I don't care. I don't believe when it said, when the cameras are rolling, I if I never met you before and felt your vibe and been around you, and I can't really say that I believe you like that. I'm sorry, maybe not true.
But look, you know what? The clue could be in what they were arguing about. Nobody's saying what they were arguing about, right? And if the people split them up, there's a lot of people who actually know what they were talking about. And the thing that nobody's saying what they were actually arguing about is also strange to me, right? Because you say stuff when you're arguing. There was
Yeah.
people listening. You know, what was her side? What did he say to her? What did she say back to him? And did it get physical? Because they separated them. So did he put hands on her? Did she put hands on him? I
That's
mean,
all I'm
how
saying.
come nobody's explaining what the hell the argument was about? That's
That's
what I
why I
would
go back
wonder.
to the picture, man. It exposes a bigger issue to me, than just this incident, right? That's because we're not family. We don't have father protection. We don't, you know what I'm saying? It's obvious some broken communication, because I could be wrong though. I think if that trust was there, that could be a communication thing. We wouldn't know, right? Y'all ain't just celebrating the dude pulling up with y'all fine daughters, 21, and this nigga got gray in his beard. Y'all ain't like, yeah, you getting married to my baby. Man, who in the hell are you?
But she
And I think
30. But she 30. What
She's
you? I mean,
31.
she's 30. So
but again, right? Because that's niggas be lying about their relationships. But I would think that over time, if we got trust in each other, I can meet who you dating. Not
yeah,
saying not saying you ain't gonna stop dating them, but I can
yeah.
meet them. And if I'm a person who's about something, I can Hell, you can find anybody on YouTube now. You know history. Like, man, you lost all your crypto money. What happened? Man, I seen.
I agree.
She was at the strip club, so I don't know. Any of y'all got fathers with any of y'all women in the chat got relationship with y'all daddies, and y'all go to and y'all in the strip club working? Let me know.
Man,
but at the end of the day, she gonna do what she want to do.
Right.
No doubt.
She 31. She ain't 21.
Right.
Like
31 years
it
old.
don't matter. Yeah, I understand. You like if you was her
Ain't I goal
father.
to keep a woman off the stripper pole? Our daughters, okay.
No, but it's not that I like a lot of people don't think like how I have come around to think how our pain have started to. I mean, how our pain
rub off
goes
on
with
you.
his daughters as far as like my daughter has a safety net. She can always come back home. I definitely know women out there who got put out when they were 18. They had to find a way. Like, what I'm saying? It just was what it was. And
exception. I can
no,
understand that.
I don't know. I feel like the exceptions is actually the people who will allow their kids to stay with them longer than longer than 18 in college. I think that's the exception. More times than not, either the kid wants to hurry up and leave home so they can be independent and try to show their parents that they can do it on their own, or the kid or the parents are normally getting you out of the house like, yo, you're 18, you ain't doing nothing, you gotta go, basically. So I'm just saying that, but by the time she's 30, she's already been out on her own. More than likely, she's been out here trying to make it. She already in the strip clubs. I don't know much about this, but if that's the case, then she's out there trying to hustle, trying to make it. And now she meet this dude who made all this money off of crypto. Now they're this internet couple, and and you're getting these checks. What's your dad gonna be able to say? Yo, you need to leave him. But you see these checks coming in.
See, I'm not saying it's about leaving them, but again, it goes to show how broken we are in our relationship from top to bottom, right? Because I would think if your child trusts you and y'all have had communication and relationship over years, she gonna let you meet this dude.
Yeah.
And I don't give a damn what y'all say. A dude 20 years older coming up, I don't care. Y'all gonna have some problems with that. It ain't gonna be no, yeah, marry my baby, go on off. I'm just saying, there's no, in reference to the parents, there's no checking of this man.
45?
Yeah. There's no checking of it. He met her at the strip club. Man, my daughter work at the strip club. What you doing? What you doing in the strip club?
Like, that's tough.
But that's her decision. That's her.
Yeah, that's me. I ain't going to no strip club.
She
I ain't mean quality.
Wasn't just a stripper. Like,
but that's where he met her at, though. Just saying, she can influence after she
right,
stripped.
But
she evolved. Is that what you're saying?
Met her at the strip club of her being the actual stripper.
Yeah, she was working there.
Or was she? Yeah, but there's more than that at the strip club.
I'm just saying that's what he met the girl that was okay. I'm just saying, maybe y'all listen. If y'all dated a woman at the strip club, I'm sorry.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying because there's more positions than just a strip.
I think she was a bottle girl. She was
because you could be a bottle girl or a bartender or something like that.
The lifestyle that she lived, she wanted that model, video, vixen, nightlife. That was the life that she lived, and that is Aiden, to your point, Coach Ferg, that if you have your father in your life, like, I wouldn't dare go work in a strip club. I don't care. I'll go in a nice little white linen restaurants and get my serve on and take these folks' money in a nice, polite way, But I'm not gonna be in no strip club. Like, I'm not gonna be a bottle girl. I even bartended, but I bartended in a nice restaurant. Like, you know what I mean? I do like that social, but I do also know that I'm not gonna put myself in situations. I've had people like, oh, you should come work at the casino. No, y'all ain't gonna be drunk all night bothering me. And I'm putting myself in a situation where it might be uncomfortable, uncompromising. Like, no, I'm just not going to enter into that realm, into that life. Right. And so, it probably was a wild life that she was living. She just made it look cute. She made it look lucrative. She made it look like the rich and famous, and at the end of the day, it probably wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
Coach
Like
Bird.
a lot of influencers who want to show their life online and it's in shambles in real life. So what's the facade for? Like for a check? For a check?
Yep. More times than not.
That's crazy. Your soul is just rotten and just ain't doing nothing, but you got money though. Like, you gotta be leery of people who are quick to turn on a camera and hit record. You got to be leery of people who, all they can think about is getting back to social media and getting back to their audience. And that eagerness for a check to me is just not authentic. It's very fast and it's fleeting. Just like, happiness is fleeting. That money can come and go. I even watched, what's his name? Mojo Brooks. I saw a interview and how he was like, yeah, 1 month I made a whole bunch of money, and then the next month it was like $1,500,
$60K.
Yeah, and he was saying that he had to have people really, mentor him and tell him like, yo, this social media game is not what you really think it is. Yeah, you may be on top of the world 1 month, but then that next month, or if social media algorithms decide to change, you're not going to be as popping as you thought that you was. It's, to me, it's like high school. It is like a popularity contest. Whoever can be the class clown, whoever can be the best debater on the debate team, whoever can be in the fashion shows and the pageants. You have your group of people and how you knew people in high school or middle school or in your friend groups growing up, and now it is blown up on a stage that has people's confidence and personalities and identities wrapped up in a web where so many people have access to who you are as a person, whether it's real or fake. So you have to be careful with what you share with other people. There should be certain things that people online that you talk to, there are just certain things about me that y'all don't know and y'all won't know.
I got a question for Coach Ferg. So what's an appropriate age gap when you're 30 years old?
Yeah, because
I say about 7.
What?
Yeah, about 7.
So my grandpa was 12 years older than my grandma.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they was married for 25 years. That before my pa passed. But
the maturity, but there's also a maturity level. Women of that time, they were way mature than a 40-year-old today. To me, but again, that's me personally. I just would never go beyond 10 years. That'd be the max, but it have to be really 7, 8 years. I don't want to be dating nobody that I didn't go to school with or something. We can't, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Coach, you ain't a woman though, man.
I know, man, but I'm a man.
Like
So what? So it's
no,
my age
I'm
group.
saying, no. Hold
But
on.
I ain't even looking at them like that, though. I don't know. Y'all might fall in love with the
I'm saying
25-year-old.
women, women, contrary to popular belief, a lot of women like older men.
Yeah.
Especially if they think they have the bag. So I mean, and at 31 years old, she could date and marry whoever the hell she wants to. I think
she in that age bracket where she got a son or the husband. She can have one of the pictures of you back there,
right?
Or your
Coach,
daddy,
I get it. Y'all dudes with daughters, when they had a 10, 20-year-old man, y'all make sure y'all pay for the wedding traditionally.
Hey, Coach, man. The thing what Payne is saying too, like so I'm telling you, man. Soon as my first day back on campus after being out of school for I don't know how long, but and you do the class introductions even in college. I'm like, I got my daughter. She's 13 years old. I got pressed by an 18-year-old right after that.
Man, you care,
like
you
pressed.
compassionate, you taking care of your family,
No,
man.
Nah,
That's
no, but we're talking about
no,
age gap, though,
no,
coach.
so I'm saying so.
Coach
I'm
Ford
saying,
talking about the red flags that they think are,
Hold
I
up,
mean, the green
Frank.
flags
Did
that they
you,
think.
no,
did you,
so
did you, did
she,
you,
you said so. She was like, I want to. No, that's a red flag. I want to ride that coaster or
The
something
care
like.
man. He's taking care of his child. I just,
yeah,
Oh,
Frank,
think about my future.
yes.
Oh,
Did you press up on it though?
no, I didn't bite down.
That's
I didn't
all
bite
I'm
down.
saying. No.
But I'm saying, but like soon, but soon as I did, and she was Asian.
She gave that
Like,
look
and
like,
you know, I'm saying that because you know how like their family dynamic normally is.
him right
But
there.
yeah, so yeah,
That's
soon
what
as,
they do. They go
like,
to college to find their husband. You was a good
yeah,
example. You had responsibilities. You was mature. You had that soldier in you, man.
man, I was
Hey,
chilling.
coach is all over the place on
I
this
was
one,
chilling,
man.
yeah.
Jesus
But yeah,
Christ.
I'm just saying, bro. Like it's like you can't. And now I'm not saying that I will agree with it. Like, but if my daughter's 30 years old and she brought home a
Yeah.
45-year-old man to 40, like I can't be like that's too big of an age gap. Like at that time, like she should have a sound enough mind to say, like, I know that like I've learned this man or I've been through, you know, I trust my judgment now, like you raised me right, like look at the, you know, this man is a good man in the community, he's doing his thing. Like I will hope that she is able to make those decisions, and you know, and I can be able to, like you said though, like I can meet him, we can talk, we can have these conversations, you know what I'm saying, and then I can let her know, hey, these are just my thoughts, this is my feedback, you know what I'm saying. But all in all, at 30 years old, it's her decision at the end of the day.
Well, listen, I'm gonna shut up. All these men running around here being dumb shit at 30-something years old. It's time to grow up. I don't want to hear no goddamn more excuses that y'all was immature. Don't be making no dumb decisions at 35 talking about, well, man, she used me. Your ass is mature enough to see them red flags is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I think
Not you, Frank, man. You a
no,
soldier, man. You different. I'm talking about these other
I'm saying
it's
by
the
then,
woman's
they
fault,
definitely
man. No, not
yeah.
that. It's her fault that I stuck my penis in her. She was looking so good and smelling so good. I don't blame myself. It was her. But
yeah,
those dudes.
No,
That's
but
all.
you're right about, you know, if you are gonna date someone, you know, that in that 10 to 12 year range, you would hope that the daughter does have a good relationship with her father in order to incorporate him, because he's going to know things that she's not going to necessarily know, or he's going to know angles that this man may take if he's not an upstanding, you know, 41, 45, however old man this is. Men can sniff that out quicker than a woman with googly eyes because you don't flash a couple of hundreds in front of her face. You know what I mean? So, you know, I hear where you're coming from, Coach. For, you know, it starts at home, from the home. You would hope that they would instill something in her that would see signs or have some type of discernment against certain things. But if she being hard-headed, like a lot of women continue to be in life, then unfortunately, you know, fathers are not going to, a lot of fathers don't, you know, try over and over and over and over and over again to try to tell their daughter what to do. It's like, okay, if you want to be hard-headed, look, I done told you a million times. Now you're gonna have to live with the consequence or whatever happens from your decisions, right? So, you know, we would hope that daughters and fathers have, and this can, you know, speak to that about, you know, this relationship, because your father is supposed to be the first man that you love. But if you
Well,
going off and falling in love with, you know, men who probably don't even resemble your father at all in character, nature, anything, that could say a lot about you and your father's relationship.
well, there you go, so there you go. There you
Because
go.
they showed all these pictures of her and this white man, but what about pictures of her and her family? You know, usually when kids or you know, when kids pass away and things of that nature, they show you the memories, they show you, you know, how close you are to your family and, you know, things of that nature. And then this setting, all we keep seeing is pictures of her and this man. Like, it's just maybe I don't know. I didn't look at the GoFundMe. Maybe the GoFundMe has a family picture that resembles some type of closeness between her and her family. But
But
it does speak to the point of what you're saying, Coach Ferg, of where's her father? Where are those relationships in her life that would kind of raise an eyebrow? Like, what's going on here? What's happening? What's up with this man? What he want? What he want from you?
she
Other
probably stopped listening to her father years ago. Just by the way she feels about black men. Her mother went from him to a divester. So they had this relationship. Her mother didn't care about this white man. All she cared about was that he was white. And at one point he was rich. He could still be rich. I don't even think her father had any influence after a certain age on this woman at all. Because she rejects the skin that he's in. Right? So I mean he be concerned about her because he's her father. But
right.
as far as her taking any advice from him, I cannot. No, I'm sure she hasn't listened to this man for years. And if I had money to bet on it, that's what I would
Yeah. Uh, fathers need their daughters, and daughters need their fathers, right? Because fathers get older, are pain. Fathers get older, and no, I'm just kidding. And
bet. Yeah, I know that's true.
you guys learn your children in a whole different way. It's just you go from being that parent, that coach, that mentor, to then sit back and observing, but still being a caring figure in your child's life. But you're just learning them in a different way. And so you need the parental influence. That's the influence that she truly needs, right? To always be there, whether her parents are divorced or not. She needs both of y'all.
I'm telling you that she probably rejected anything her father told her. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I mean, in general, you're absolutely correct. I'm thinking that the way the dynamic is and some of the information about her mother and her relationship is that her mother was encouraging her to be a divester, right? I mean, there's a group of women who are divestors. That's a segment of women who not only want to have white men, they want to have white men in rejection of having any black men. And so her and her mother was feeding off of each other. And the father, I mean, he might seem concerned because he is, but I don't think that's a two-way street. Or else he probably wouldn't have agreed to this relationship at all.
Yeah,
He
he
probably wouldn't. He'd be a coach Ferg. He would have been a coach Ferg.
And then her mother like didn't even show like any kind of emotional
no, it was weird.
um like if I don't have children, but like if I had a kid and they got, something happened to them, like she was like, "Oh, she called me 2 days ago," and like, what are we even doing?
Yeah, again, we're looking at this and we're, talking about the man that Ashlee was in Africa with, but the whole story, just seems a little off. It seems like this 31-year-old Ashlee, she lived a life that was just so far from probably her family, that her friends became her family, maybe her fans became her family, and her family is kind of like, they that's why it's so important to be close to your children, because one day you just don't know what's going on in their life, like right, like you just don't know what they're you have some family dynamics where you don't know what in the world is going on in their life, and then you hear news that or you may get glimpses. She probably knew she was going to Africa, but this is something huge, so I would hope that she would know and it wouldn't be a mystery, or they really don't know what's going on. But when you really don't know what's going on in your children's lives, it shows, because the mom, they felt, it seemed very distant, a very distant relationship, and it's like they don't know how to grieve her, and so it comes off a little awkward. They also, they're very careful about accusing um the man that she was there with, Joe. They're very, they don't want to come off accusatory because nobody knows, and it is still an open investigation. But I was watching a video, and a couple of policemen were outside of a house, and a couple were coming up to the door, and they're like, "What's going on with my daughter? What's going on with my daughter? What's going on with my daughter?" And the policeman couldn't tell them that their daughter was inside of the home dead, and the father was saying, "Oh, he unalived her. He unalived her. He unalived her," because they probably knew what type of tumultuous relationship she was in with this man. With her parents, especially with this whole social media culture and her being an influencer, y'all put out to the world what you want the world to believe, so much so that your parents are probably going to believe it too. And now your parents are taken back by what's happening. So can they really blame the man? I mean, naturally, you probably would, because they're the only two there and they travel there together. But they could be in amazement, like, wait, this guy that I thought you were dating took you to Africa to show you this lavish life, and and now you're gone. It could
Precious.
be
As
like,
a father, Precious, excuse me for a second. As a father, if you're with my daughter, I'm blaming it on you if something happens to her.
oh yeah,
If
oh,
I don't care, So what I'm saying is, as a man, if my daughter's with this dude, he's responsible for what happens to her. Whether he did it or not, we could sort it out. But he would be in such hot water with me just for the fact that under his watch, this happened to my daughter,
but see, that's something
right?
that
So
you would probably say, being reported as a father who cares about your child being covered, right? Because you were that serious in covering her. That's probably something that you would naturally say, like,
just like exactly,
if
exactly.
you know uh, do you think, if you were posed the question, do you think that he has something to do with it? He brung her out of the country, and he's supposed to be protecting her, and so anything that has happened to her is part of his responsibility. And
Absolutely.
that's
And I
not
would have said just that.
saying that you're giving step by step of what happened in that room, but it's saying that he's responsible for her one way or the other.
Exactly.
So that's a good point,
Exactly.
Archie. This is a
Yeah,
tough one.
and she, and it's really, like you said, her parents could be so distant from her, like from like I would tell you, the first time I went out of the country, and I don't know how many times she had been out of the country, but like I was so excited. I was calling my mother every day, like every stop of the way. I was telling her, like, I'm like, all right, I'm on a layover, in such and such. I'm all right, we about to go, I'm about to fly so many hours to wherever I'm going.
Mhm.
I'll call you when I land, and like I had printed out all my itinerary. I printed out a copy of my passport, my driver's license, and I sent it to her.
Mhm.
So I don't know if she did this, but like, I don't know how many times she been out of the country. So like my situation was different, but I wanted to make sure she knew where I was every step of the way.
Right.
Like, because, I'm in another country. She can't just
Absolutely.
drive, she can't just drive, an hour to come see what happened, So like I think I do understand where you guys are coming from about the communication with their family and with their father. Like, yeah, like why is she, you know, one does she only, FaceTime her mother like when she got there just to let her know that she was all right, and then after that, 2 days later, like I don't know, I was different. Like I was calling my mom every day, like, hey, we about to go do such and such. I'll call you when I get back because you don't know you don't know when that next moment is going to be your last moment, and they thinking she all right because she FaceTime them 2 days ago, and now all of a sudden they get a call from him talking about she done did something to herself. Like
Yeah,
what are you even talking about?
and like even with being separated, right? And you're on
Mhm.
this trip with the man who is proposing to you and things of that nature. When you in that room by yourself, are you not FaceTiming somebody else? Are you not telling them? You know how girls are. Girl, he over here tripping. We done got into an argument like that. That's why I'm wondering if things that type of evidence is going to surface in this case, because there are so many different gaps where there are also a lot of opportunities for the story to be told without anyone saying it. You know what I mean? Without it having to be told from someone's mouth, but you actually seeing different things happening, so you could, you can piece together the story. But you FaceTiming them when the lions and stuff is walking in front of them, but are you FaceTiming them when you in this room by yourself? In a room by yourself, like in a room by yourself.
Unless he took the phone and cut it off.
But that's what
But
I'm
I
saying.
think
There's
I think
a lot
it's
more story. So
I
much.
think Precious. What is the one thing people do when somebody piss them off, knowing that they're a social media influencer? You got followers. The first thing you're gonna do is be on your live. Let me go. See, it's one thing I'm sending a video to my family, but when I go live, listen, y'all, I'm over here in Africa. Black man ain't shit. I got
Yeah, but
me
she
a
can't out this white man. She can't out this white man to her followers because you never know. She
but
can't
she
out this white man. And
why she
so that's
can't?
another thing about, unfortunately, dating outside of your race, because at the end of the day, they could flip the script and who would believe you?
Well, that's part of her flex, though. She can't out the white man because that's part of her game.
Now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She done told us we ain't shit with him.
Yeah. Well, she
She
made all
know
that
it.
money off of having the white dude. She can't just all of a sudden 2 days later out of nowhere say, "Oh, you know what? He ain't shit."
right.
That's a
That
bag. That
that's
bag is gone now.
exactly that tarnishes her image. And that happens all the time. There's actually documentaries, I think, right now on Netflix about, how people's significant others just they snap. And this is all social media influencers. This is a documentary on Netflix about social media influencers who get into relationships, and next thing you know, someone snaps and then someone's not here anymore.
So keep your ass right here at home.
Stay at home, I'm telling you.
Find you a good black man like 3 a.m. and settle down.
Stay at home because or just be very cautious and very aware, and again, do not abandon your community, because when something like this happens, it's hard for, like Arpane said, why am I going to care so much? Like, why is this going to be something that I'm going to give my energy to? And when there's nothing good that comes our way from these type of situations. And black men have seen it time and time and time and time again. And it's disheartening, because I don't think that women should categorize all men because they've had or they've made bad decisions, because it takes two to tango, and women have to give. We have to allow y'all. you know there has to be some type of consent given. So I always say it comes down to decision making. We have decisions to make, whether they're the right ones or the bad ones. And it just seems like in this case, it's going if the evidence is allowed to be presented and hasn't already been paid away and tucked away and burnt, and you know how they do in them TV shows, burn the evidence, take it to the hero, or do whatever, get the hard drive. Like, that's where my mind is going with this. A lot of things that happen in high places that don't happen, in the everyday world that we live in, and that it's happening around us. We just aren't involved in it and we don't know. You could walk down the street in New York and you don't know what's going on in them buildings. From the outside, they look raggedy, but on the inside, they're luxurious, places that you have no idea that what's behind those walls. So, it just seems like in this case, it could be a mixture of that and a mixture of this influencing world where the truth, what looks like the truth, may not be the truth. You know, it's sad and unfortunate for her family. Her friends are really, really advocating for her. I think it was because of her friends this story got nationwide coverage, and every news station is now reporting on it. It's up and down people's timelines on TikTok, all over the place. But you know, we really need to warn people who just think that making a bag on social media, taking that easy way out, is going to be something that's going to sustain you. It may sustain you financially for a season, but you have to really be focused on your emotional health if you're going to be out here in these social media streets making money. Because if you're not anchored or tied down to something stable, you just going to fly away. Seriously, you're going to be out here in a whirlwind, not knowing how to get back down to reality. Because you're going to think you're going to be able to live like the rappers, the singers, the video vixens, the artists. And that's just not going to be your actual reality, but you're going to make it look that way as much as you can. And y'all know what I say, be real with yourself so you can be real with everybody else. Because if I'm not being real with myself, there's no way I could come out here and fake anything for y'all. I just rather just not show my face. I just rather not. So people have to be real with themselves and realize that it's okay to work a job. It's okay. It's okay. You know, I'm not saying that getting your money off of social media is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But when you can't differentiate real life from social media, and now you have all these followers who you have no clue who they are, you leave your life open to being a target, and you don't know where the target is coming from. And unfortunately, it could be someone sleeping in the bed with you. You know, unfortunately, it could be the person that look you in your face every day and say, I love you. So, you know, younger women that are watching or have seen these stories about Ashlee, not these stories, but this investigation about Ashlee, be mindful of that. Be mindful where you put your time and your treasure, and you know who has access to that. Because when you go on, these people, you're just going to be another headline. You're just going to be another person that should have probably taken some direction from your father. Probably should have listened to some of the things that he was trying to instill in you, if that was the case. Again, the relationship looks very distant. So it doesn't usually when relationships are distant, fathers do probably give up, and then daughters are like, all right, well, you ain't trying, I ain't trying. We just gonna live our own separate lives. And unfortunately, that makes for a bitter relationship. So the visuals of everything don't look good.
Sure doesn't.
Don't look good at all. But I did want to cover it, and I'm pretty sure there will be updates. But like I said, just a warning. Love who you want to love. Don't tear down your own community while you love who you want to love. It's just not the right thing to do. Within your community comes resources. You know, how you gonna burn down the village? How you gonna burn down the village? Come on now. Yeah, you know, you may not like all your family members, but you're just going to disown all of them just like that. No, you know, you got to still have love for the village. Sometimes you got to be distant from the village. That's okay. But at the end of the day, you can't disown them. You know, I think that there can be clear boundaries, but it's a lot in this with him not making the money that he used to and losing a lot of money. Who knows the lengths that he is going to recuperate some of this money. Hopefully this young woman passing away is not part of that plan. Let's just hope and pray that that's not part of the plan at all.
Well, maybe not. it's more likely she said, "Listen, you say that you don't give me what not to give me, but if you press it, I'll let everybody know that you're flat broke." You
Mm,
know, and he says, "Well, I can't have that." And then boom. I mean, I'm making up my own spy novel. I
yeah,
want to know what they argued about. She might have gave him some kind of ultimatum, or she said something. What did you argue about? I mean, that's the key right there, and nobody's talking about it. I mean, where's all the news reporters? You know, so I think there's some context clues in that. How mad was he? If listen, if me and you are my husband and wife, we could argue. We arguing in public. That's one thing, and people saw it. But the fact that they had to split up in this luxury hotel or resort, that they actually got another room, which probably was going at a premium. So there was this just I mean that anyway, it's
that's
crazy.
that's the truth. Because for all we know, they could have still been in the same room, and he could have did whatever he did, and then got another room, and who knows what the real.
No, what I'm saying is the argument was so big that the hotel, I don't know if they charge him for the other room, but that's a serious accommodation,
I would think
right?
so.
But I think what Precious is saying is like that could just be a made up story about them
Yeah,
splitting rooms
that's the
and
truth. If that's really the truth that they split up, they could have been in the same room all along.
mhm.
And
Wait a minute,
fight,
that's true
fight
too.
or argument could have broken out, and whatever took place, and the person who's living tells the story that we had to get separate rooms, let them know that I found her in this room, like
I
it
think
it
the hotel said they got him a separate room, though. I mean, if you consider the source, it wasn't him that said it. The
if you
hotel said it, I believe.
if you could pay, look at Diddy. If you could pay off these people to say what to either say what you want them to say, or have them say what you want them to say,
Well,
or
that's true.
it
Okay.
you can't really believe everything you hear and see. I really don't. Like, I just, until you could prove it to me, until there could be some facts, it's all just speculation. It's allegedly. um the optics of this just does not lead to someone who even cared that this girl was gone. You just proposed to her. You would think you'd be calling her parents right away, and we had an argument, but I ran to the room. I wanted to see how she was doing, and I found her. Like, you called her parents 11 hours later. The optics and the storytelling just do not add up to me.
I
And
mean,
it's
I agree with that.
that she is dead and gone now, but they don't add up. And unfortunately, the family may never get justice. And this is a harsh price that you pay for not being heavily involved in your children's life, not having that emotional connection, or not having that emotional intimacy with your kids to the point where what kind of decisions that they're going to make and that they're not going to make, or if they're making decisions that are less favorable than you would like, that you're still there supporting them and not casting them down or being critical of them. And
Yeah,
pretty
and
sure lifestyle made for critical comments. You know what I mean?
big as that moment was, like even right after that moment, like I couldn't see her not calling her parents or calling somebody.
Right.
Like, and I
She
think
threatened.
hopefully, I think hopefully that'll come out, after, they review the phone logs or whatever. And, but yeah, it all seems fishy. And like he's probably telling a whole bunch of lies, and because it don't sound, it's not adding up.
I mean,
Like,
has anyone seen anything that said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe the love of my life is gone," and
no, he
I
was talking about,
to her?
he was talking about the top 10 AI companies that was coming up, you know, in the stock exchange. So he cared less about her.
Right. So there you have it. Yeah. If the person that took you out to Tanzania to celebrate you can't even mourn you, that says a lot. Okay. And if I was her parents, I would have said the same thing. I think Coach Ferg said it, or our pain said it. Yeah, something happened to my daughter, and we need answers. We even there was no even like the emotion, like you said, 3 a.m. The emotion just it just wasn't flowing like you would think it would be flowing for your daughter who you just seen on FaceTime, and now she's no longer living. And I can't really tell people how to grieve and the emotion that they should have, and then the composure that they should take. But like I said, optics wise, is just all around something ain't right. Something ain't right. Like the old folks used to say, something ain't right in the spirit. I'm not feeling it. But again, rest in peace to her. And, I do pray that her family gets some type of answer, some type of closure. And if they don't, I'm praying for peace because, to know that your child passed away and you have no clue what happened it's going to wake you up just out your sleep a few nights probably. It's going to be real uncomfortable for a while, real uncomfortable in your spirit for a while, because that biological connection is not going to allow you to rest. It's something you're going to wrestle with. And a lot of people wrestle with things while they're living and don't fix them, and then things like this happen, a death of your child, and now you're wrestling with it and they're no longer here, and you have to now answer to God and make it right with him, because the person that you was wrestling with in life are no longer here. So I really hope that young girls take a deeper thought about the environments that you put yourself in, because you just never know. You never know. This person wasn't her husband, so he didn't really have a right to, or he didn't have maybe a heart to even protect her. This wasn't her husband. He was proposing to her, but that probably wasn't the only plan for her either, sadly. So, all right, guys, we're gonna close this one out. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow, and I love y'all, but I gotta leave you. Okay. I'm so glad that everyone joined us. I appreciate you guys joining us on the panel. This one was a little sad and down and dark, but sometimes we got to go through these type of topics as well, just to again warn others and younger women coming up, and just be careful. Just be careful. And sometimes we're not going to always be up here laughing and having a good time, but we're always going to make a good time of the time that we do have, and going over these topics. So we're going to have some final words from our pain first, Coach Ferg, 3 a.m. final thoughts, I should say. And then we're going to get up out of here. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, for Adoptee Foster. And then we'll be back here Wednesday for the Men's Forum.
All right. Well, and listen, thanks for having me up. Like I said, I am under the weather, but I'm out of town too. That's why I'm in a hotel room, me and my wife. But anyhow, listen, I think he did it. Period. And for what reason, I don't know. I think the clues were in the argument, and why, what his motivation was, is the only thing I don't know. I also heard some speculation that there might be a third party involved, but listen, nobody, people generally, one, just don't turn up deleted, out of nowhere.
Right.
And the whole, self deletion suicide story, let's talk English. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense at all. So let's just hope that she gets some justice, and yeah, any brothers out there dancing on her grave, I don't agree with that. But people are not going to have remorse for people who hate them. It's just as simple as that. She showed her disdain for the black man, and to think black men should come up and have some kind of extra, feeling for her is it's ridiculous.
Right.
That's not how life works. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. And the same thing for that brother who got deleted by the white girl, right? the sisters didn't come out for him, and nobody did. He said how much he hated black women, right? And then she deleted him, and she's walking scot free, I believe. That foreign brother, I forgot his name. So, I mean, you just, I don't know. So that's my last words.
Well, thank you
Anyway.
so much. You didn't have to be here. You're under the weather. You're out of town. You're spending time with your wife. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Get better. Drink some tea, lemon, honey.
Yeah, been drinking. I got so much tea. I'm like growing tea. I've been drinking so much tea.
He's like, I'm tired of this tea.
Anyway, okay.
We'll see you next week, okay? Hopefully.
You got it. You
All
got
right.
it.
Coach Ferg,
Salute
final
out
thoughts?
there, man. Salute, man. Let's take care of your health, man. You ain't got too many Christmases left, so we need you around. But I mean, let me say this. Listen, this is why it's important, right? Especially now that we are here in this so-called modern era and all these new smart ninjas who barely graduated, but now they woke. This is a good time to make sure we have those lines of communication open with, at least find somebody that you trust, right?
Yeah.
Because, you want to start traveling and doing all these great things. Listen, let people track you. Let people know where you're going, where you're at, exactly to the pinpoint, right? Because we've seen that people may have ulterior motives and we don't know about it. And some people play the long game when it comes to wanting to do something to you. So, I know everybody gets up in arms. Listen, I love my wife because she like, here, track me.
Yep.
Know where I'm at. Because if I'm somewhere too long, something ain't right. But that's because, we have communication. My son's a truck driver, so I'm tracking him all over the country. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's important in today's time. And not everybody feels that way. But, if you got, listen, it's somebody that you trust. And if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And let people, how we say, Precious, when we talk about we didn't choose right. It's hard to choose by yourself, though, for real. Because I might be blinded by the yams. I might be blinded by the beauty. And I ain't even looking at the red flags. But some other, how when you write a paper, they say put some other eyes on it.
Yeah,
sometimes just to give you that heads up, not saying, what I'm saying, that it's always turn, but you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared. And I think, people underestimate, the seriousness of how social media is putting people in compromising positions.
Yeah.
They want to do this just to show the world what I'm doing.
Yep.
It's unfortunate about her family not having that, communication between those two. And I believe in karma sometime, right? I'm not going to shame. I'm old school guy. Y'all talked about me all my life, but I didn't take it to heart. I learned from it. And I also learned that now it's like I'm going to speak to the behavior. I don't care who you are, whether you're black, white, green, short, tall, midget, retarded, but they excuse retarded. But if you an adult and you're intentionally doing something to harm somebody and really subjugate somebody, I'm always an advocate against that. I'm always fight that because I see how young people who are misled by the wrong people, and there's like we just mentioned, there's no remorse in it. People just go on with their lives. Young people, young adults are losing their lives over nonsense, and everybody sort of shuns an eye to it. So I think it's a good time for people to use this when you have children going off to college, going anywhere outside of your presence, that keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Not every scene is a good scene. Not all grass is green on the other side. So just keep your eyes open. And if it don't, why is it that we can have our woman's intuition when it comes to us black men, but y'all ain't never got it with nobody else. So listen,
No, they do. Don't let them fool you. They do.
Come on back home, ladies. Come
Just
on, find you a Tyrone, a 3 a.m. Find you a good man. That's all he wants you to do is cook a meal 3 days a week, wash his clothes that he can't get right yet, and just create a home environment for the man. He gonna cut the grass to be in the backyard. It's the time now to people sort, and I'll shut up. It's a great time to start mending some of these issues with families that close loved ones that you don't talk to, because it is getting dangerous out here. And then, salute to everybody. Precious, you take care of yourself. I know you're a single woman out here in the world. Make sure you got your taser and your poker. You got to have both of them.
I have a good group of men. My dad. I have a group of men who see it.
Taser, and poker. Back up off me.
Oh, I got that too.
Yeah, as long as you got that, keep it.
I'm from the north, not the north.
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 Yeah, salute to y'all, man. The north.
And I was an English major, okay? And I'm from the north. That's how we going to say that. So thank you, Coach Ferg. I appreciate you for being here this evening. Thank you. 3 a.m., your final thoughts this evening?
Yeah, like Coach Ferg said, it's consequences for your actions, right? So, but I don't condone like people having bad things done to them.
Right.
Just because she might have experienced black men in a way that wasn't what she was hoping for, and she probably bashed us, but like that still don't make it right for her to lose her life. That's not right. But like I was explaining when my first trip, I went out of the country earlier. Like I was probably really excited, and also I if so, I didn't think anything was going to happen, but I was taking precautions to make sure people knew where I was, you know. And as long as I was doing that, I think I felt comfortable, moving around. Um, I think he did it allegedly. We have to say that, right? Um,
Yes.
but things aren't adding up. His story, from the stuff that I was reading earlier, and I'm pretty sure it's probably changed since that time. And that was at noon today. I was on my lunch break looking at some videos, and I found out a lot about both of them. During that time, um, he was in the crypto, lost a lot of money. He was trying to play. He was cosplaying like he was still the man, and he probably. But like I said earlier, no, his broke might like be, he got 700 million and he lost 110 million, so he got 550 now. So like it's all relative, right? It depends on how you look at it. Um and so I'll say just pay attention to the news. There's more to come.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be more to come. Thank you so much for being here. I know you said there was a possibility that you weren't going to be here, so I appreciate you for being here, Leon, to be on a panel and just give your perspective with the other guys. Yeah, this is just one of those stories where we have to really reevaluate our life goals. You got to reevaluate your life goals, women, and really find out what's important in life. Is it important to be known? Is it important to have all these followers and fans? Is it important to live a lavish lifestyle that looks good, but when it comes down to now having to plan your funeral, there has to be GoFundMe pages put up when, online you have designer bags that can be sold, or something can be happening so that the money can be recouped to actually bury you. And we're in a situation now where the parents do have to ask for assistance to bury their child, because the priority was, if I live this lifestyle, the money will come in. If I look like I live this lifestyle, then the money will come in, and then I can really live this lifestyle. And so now I don't have to fake anymore. But again, that will take you through an emotional roller coaster. You're 31, you are stepping into a new life of womanhood, right? Now, she lived out her 20s. Those were probably the fun years for her. Those were the years where, she did her modeling. She, were in those music videos. She was a video vixen. She was a bottle girl. And so she lived her fun years. And the years where, it looks like her life is about to be settled down and living that married life to this CEO founder of, crypto fund firm, again, for the optics, everything for the optics. And now that you're no longer here, the optics don't look right. Something ain't adding up. It don't look as pretty and clean cut when you edit in the videos to show on your page and to prove to people that you can have a whole bunch of followers. It's not worth it. It's not worth losing your life, your soul, over things that can be taken away and can't be put in that grave with you. So we have to, watch things like this and really take self-inventory on how we're showing up in life when it comes to social media. Because a lot of people will be fooled by what they see. And then a lot of people just won't. It'll be another person that is living this lifestyle that's not really living this lifestyle. So it's unfortunate. I hope that her parents get the answers that they are looking for. I hope that there is more evidence that is surfacing that will tell the true story. But we all know with social media, people rarely see the behind the scenes. People edit it to make it look good, to make it shine right, have the right hue and tint, font, but rarely do you see the behind the scenes. And I think that, her whole situation comes full circle and tragically ends in death. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So we'll definitely be following the investigation. Like you said, 3 a.m. There's probably updates now, right? There'll probably be updates when we wake up. But at the end of the day, I'm praying for her family. I'm praying for their peace. They're going to be grieving. Grieving looks very different for everyone. And so, again, things that you may wrestle with people in your life while they're living, this is, a sign that you can wrestle with it when they're no longer here. So, all right, guys. Like I always say, be real with yourself. I can't say it. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, red in the face, orange, purple. Be real with yourself so you can be real with everyone else. I'll see you guys back here next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Until then, peace out.